Oh, boy.
Oh, the draft is coming, folks. Let me read to you here.
Oh, the draft is coming.
Oh, the draft is coming, folks. Let me read to you here. I wrote the words down verbatim here. And this is from a document talking about manpower needs. The Army was short 20,000 recruits last month. They're now going to be short, they estimate, 25,000 this month. They're not meeting requirements. That's because warriors don't want to be woke. I'm being very serious. That's why. And they don't want to be thrown into a meat grinder in Ukraine. Do you know now with the frontline troops in Ukraine, I'm reading some casualty reports coming out, 80 to 90% casualties in these units. This is what your kids are going to be going to pretty soon. Here, let me give you the documentation here, okay? From the recent draft projection report for the U.S. military, they categorize this as casualties, replacements, and reconstitution. Replacements is the key. Clearly, there are already plans to put frontline existing veteran soldiers into Ukraine and fight. To me, there's no other way to interpret this. And then they went on to say in the document that we need to engage in a limited scope draft. Well, first of all, that's BS because there'll be no such thing as a limited scope. There won't be any such thing. They'll take as many people as they need. When the Vietnam War started, they said, well, okay, if you're in college, you get to the next semester to go. It's okay. We'll even let you finish, maybe college deferment. And then, of course, you got a marriage deferment. And so then they started doing is they did away with college deferment. Then everybody got married. And then they did away with marriage deferment. You could have a family deferment. Then they did away with that, which just progressively, because the manpower needs just got bigger. And by 1968, we had 500,000 ground troops in South Vietnam. Still couldn't make the country the way we wanted. Not because of the soldiers, because the strategy was flawed. Intentionally draw out the war, maximize military profits. Boy, I'll tell you, war is a great racket. If you can get on both sides of it, you get.
Yep. So, yeah, you go.
Shalom. Giving all praises to the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rachahakwarash. Double honors to the apostles, the bishops, the elders at Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and salutations as always to the elect. All right, in this video that I just played, that was off of Dave Hodges, the Common Sense Show. You could type that in on YouTube. He does some pretty good videos, pretty good information. As the scriptures say, their own tongues are going to fall on themselves. You know, you're starting to see an uptick in the working class Edomites, you know, crying out against the system. And he's one of those. So if you want to see Esau, Edom, bring it out on his own people, all right, and ultimately mourn about the calamity that is coming, all right, and becoming of America, all right, then check that guy out. But this is off of the page of the elder brother Barak Allah, all right, of the GMS Los Angeles branch. GMS Barak Allah, space 77 is his page. Subscribe and be edified. The title of the video, which is a good video, all right, which I also saw the elder Manat Zakba go in on it. All right, that draft is coming, World War III. All right, now when you go into prophecy, we know clearly that the Bible speaks on troops being gathered. As a matter of fact, let's get it. This is the book of Zephaniah, all right, the 3rd chapter and the 8th verse. It says, therefore wait ye upon me, saith Yahweh, until the day that I rise up to the prey. All right, and how is he going to do that? For my determination, all right, the Lord has decided, okay, is to gather the nations that I may assemble the kingdoms, to pour upon them mine indignation, even all my fierce anger, for all the earth shall be devoured with the fire of my jealousy. All right, and this is speaking of ultimately gathering the troops. Let's get Isaiah, the 34th chapter. Okay, Isaiah 34, all All right. And 1, come near, ye nations, to hear, and hearken, ye people. Let the earth and all that is therein, the world and all the things that come forth of it. For the indignation of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua is upon all nations, and his fury is upon all their armies. He hath utterly destroyed them, he hath delivered them to the slaughter. Their slain also shall be cast out, and their stink shall come up out of their carcasses, and the mountains shall be melted with their blood. All right. Also, let's get the book of Joel, the 3rd chapter. All right. Joel 3:1. For behold, in those days, and at that time, when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem, meaning take the Israelites, the remnant, out of their captivity through a mighty deliverance, I will also gather the nations. I will bring them down into the valley of Yahweh Shaphat. All right. And I will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered amongst all the nations and parted my land. So the Lord's determinations, all right, is, as you read this in the NLT, is to gather the armies of the world into the valley of Yahweh Shaphat, which is over in the Middle East, Saudi Arabia, all right, where all of these nations are gathering their troops, as the scriptures say, prepare war, wake up the mighty men, all right. And if you look all around the world, all of the nations, all right, are anteing up. A lot of these nations are joining themselves unto, Russia is becoming a guard unto them. They're developing, systems, their defense, all right, their offense, all right, they're beating their plowshares, all right, into swords, meaning they're doing away with, building up their economies, their, economics in a sense of cultivating and all of that, and they're focusing more on positioning themselves to be okay in what they know is coming as World War III, Armageddon, the valley of the gathering of the troops. And what's happening over here in the United States is that ultimately they're not meeting their recruitment goals. As a matter of fact, let's pull up an article to prove that. All right, this is an article. All right, and this is one of many. Why recruiting and confidence in America's armed forces is so low right now. All right. So basically what I'm getting into is that prophecy has to be fulfilled. The Lord is going to, gather the troops of all of these various different nations, including Babylon the Great. But what you see happening in Babylon the Great is that nobody wants to join the military. A lot of people are waking up to the corruption. A lot of people, are telling their children, because back in the, the 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, people were honored to join the Babylonian army. And when I say Babylonian, I'm speaking of America. This is Babylon the Great, but we're living in a time now where a lot is being exposed about false flag wars, about how these politicians and leaders don't send their children to war. Okay, so there's a lot of people, all right, reneging, all right, on ultimately joining the U.S. military. Okay, the U.S. military has reached crisis levels of low recruitment, and at the same time, America's public perception of the armed forces is increasingly divided. Okay, so the people don't trust, all right, America in the way that they used to. All right, people don't want to fight in America's military, all right, like they used to. All right, as a matter of fact, when you get prophecy, it speaks to that as well. Okay, foreborn to fight. All right, it's the book of Jeremiah 51:30. Okay, it says, the mighty men of Babylon have forborne to fight. They have remained in their holds. Their might have failed. All right. That manly spirit, going back to General Patton, how, the American men, all right, used to be mighty. They used to be known as warriors. Now, the men are, putting eyeliner, high heels, lipstick, getting in touch with their feminine side. and a nation suffers. You see, that whole toxic masculinity mindset, all right, has pretty much taken the strong man out of the way. All right. But now we're living in the times where people are looking for those grunts. People, need, all right, those manly men. You need that, what they call toxic masculinity, for protection of the country. You see? So the mighty men of Babylon have forborne to fight. They have remained in their holes. Their might have failed. They has become as women. Okay? They have burned her dwelling places. Her bars are broken. So ultimately, this place is not protected. All right? You got, the Russian military, the China military, they're all anteing up. They're all focusing on making men manlier, manhood, putting off that weak nature. They're openly saying these things. All right. The stop watching things that, are promoted by the toxic West. Okay. Her mightiest warriors no longer fight. They stay in their barracks. All right. Their courage is gone. They have become like women. The invaders have burned their houses and broken down their city gates. And that's ultimately what's getting ready to happen. All right. So in order for prophecy to be fulfilled, troops have to be gathered. Okay. So according to what the elder Barak Allah brought out, all right, the U.S. military industrial complex is planning a military draft. And they said people from 18 to 40. Okay. So a lot of you thugs, okay, who like to go shoot them up, bang, bang. All right. A lot of you aggressive ass women who like to pop off at the mouth, run up on men. Well, you're going to have your chance to fulfill your dreams. All right. As you're going to be put on the front lines. All right. Of war, of World War III. You're going to be dragged into war. And it's not going to be any way out. And the Lord has that judgment set, all right, for a lot of the 2/3 of our people and a lot of these wicked weirdos walking around here in Babylon the Great. Again, the elect, we're going to be protected from this. We don't read this and start to think, oh my God, what am I going to do? What about my son? No, the Lord's going to protect us from this. We're not worried about this. These things are getting ready to happen on the earth as a form of judgment. Okay? Because prophecy has to be fulfilled. So the Lord is going to have Esau Edom set up a draft. Right? He's going to have Esau Edom set up a draft. All right. And of course, they're not going to send their children over into this draft. What they're going to do is gather you niggas. Okay. Again, I call for all thugs, gangbangers, all of those dudes who are in prison for shooting, doing all of this wickedness. Put their asses on the front lines of World War III. All of these feminists, these people who are just super mass rebellious, put their asses on the front line of World War III. All right. With a helmet and a handgun. In a Snicker bar. Good luck. Okay? These are the times we're living in. The bankers, because all wars are bankers' wars. You can look that up, type that in on any internet search. And it's about an hour, audio, and it talks about how all wars are bankers' war. They fund both sides. And war means money. And when we're looking at happening in the earth with the, monetary clashes, the different nations trying to, get themselves from outside of the dollar. We know war is on the way when we see stuff like that. The BRICS, okay, all of these nations joining themselves into Russia. All right, I was just looking at a video where a lot of the EU is pleading with these African nations to join them because they see what's happening, all right, with them joining in Russia. But it says the bankers have once again screwed the pooch financially, meaning world war is on the way, soon on the way. The trillions they have stolen from society via their money printing press, their thick clay, the corrupt stock market, and aid to Ukraine means the economy system is once again on the verge of a collapse, which always means war is soon to come. Both major political parties, blue and red, the two horns like a lamb, have become pro-war because war is the pillar of American society, right? Without endless violence and bloodshed, all that prosperity would cease to exist. War is a racket, Okay. So let's see here. It says, I'm gonna just get to the point. The problem today, though, is that Americans are tired of sending their children off to die for the bankers. This means the bankers, through their political puppets, could attempt to institute a draft. And they were doing it over in Ukraine, all right, in Russia, all right. And those people, some of them were scared, but a lot of them were like, let's go. They were ready to fight for their country. Over here in America, people are beat down, sick, drinking Coca-Cola, all right, and eating McDonald's. They don't meet the qualifications physically. Okay? They're all messed up with these different ideologies. I can cut you. You're going to go to war without a rod, but you a man. How you going to man up? How you going to gird up your loins? You ain't got no rod, no ball sack. Okay? People are going to figure out that all of this wine that they've drunken down is going to be antagonistic to nature and keeping a nation going and flowing as these times go. And America's going to lose badly. And the Lord is making sure of that. Okay? And when these times get rough, all right, everybody's going to be looking for the strong man. You're going to be looking for toxic masculinity. Okay? But it's going to be too late. All right? And the real men of the Lord are going to be protected from all of this in a safe haven. See? These are the days we look forward to. All right? The more this nation, continues as it is, all right, we're not happy with that. We need this thing to collapse in order for our value to rise. We need out of these crazy ass situations we're in, work, the day-to-day life of Babylon. We need for things to get bad. You see what I'm saying? Because that fulfills prophecy. All right. And we get a few more scriptures and close out after reading some of this. It says, Americans are being psychologically programmed by their globalist overlords for nuclear Armageddon, climate lockdowns, and the unleashing of World War III. The bankers won't stop till they've taken over the world, and they'll murder your children if necessary to do it. While it is true some 2.1 million people are currently employed in the U.S. defense industry in some way, shape, form, or fashion, many soldiers, if you can call them that, are too fat, too transmissioned, ultimately too weak to get the job done. And we just read that in prophecy. Okay? So as you keep reading this article, it's just going in on the history of war. All right? And that recruitment, okay? Recruitment has been down in recent years, but our leaders desperately want to win the war with Russia. And they also want to be ready to fight a war with China over Taiwan, because they want control over that region. And so the stage is being set to draft young American boys and young American girls into military service. How much longer do you think it will be before World War III arrives? All right, well, according to prophecy, is right around the corner. All right, so let's get a scripture, which the elder Barak Allah brought this one out. This is 2nd Esdras 16 and 32. And the earth shall be laid waste, and the fields thereof shall wax old, and her ways and all her paths shall go full of thorns, because no man shall travel therethrough. All right, and there will be no people cutting the grass, trimming the lawn. Everything's just going to grow. It's going to be a wild, chaotic environment. The virgins shall mourn, having no bridegrooms. The women shall mourn, having no husbands. See? Their daughters shall mourn, having no helpers. Okay? In the wars shall their bridegrooms be destroyed, and their husbands shall perish of famine. See? These are the days that are coming. These prophecies have to be fulfilled. All right? A lot of these men are getting ready to be carted off to war. A lot of you women are going to be carted off to war. Okay? And the way that the economy is going, all right, the way they're going to institute a draft is going to come with some goodies. Okay? You're going to get this amount of money. You're going to get your debt released, or you're going to get this package, but you ain't coming back to enjoy that package. But a lot of people, all right, and they're going to put it like, well, you're not going to have to really get into any physical combat. All you have to do is this. All you have to do is they're going to sell it in a particular way. They're going to pitch it because they know people are scared. All right. Because a lot of Americans join the military for the goodies, for the scholarship, for the funds, for the grants. All right. But then a couple of years ago, they were showing people that were being prepared to go fight. Like, I didn't sign up for this. I didn't want it to be like this. All right. And they were all messed up in the head. Because Americans ain't the same Americans they were years ago. There's that patriotic spirit has been wiped out. You see? So in the wars, their bridegrooms shall be destroyed and their husbands shall perish of famine. And the scriptures say, woe, woe, woe to the inhabitants of the world. Okay, and that last woe is Armageddon, World War III. Hear now these things and understand them, ye servants of the Lord. So the Lord wants us to internalize the hard times that are coming. You see, you got to hear these things and understand how bad it's getting ready to get up out here. Behold, the word of the Lord, receive it. Believe not the gods of whom the Lord spake. All of these false idols, which are telling you peace is coming. All right. Peace and safety. No, man. Behold, the plagues draw nigh and are not slack. As when a woman with child in the 9th month bringeth forth her son with 2-3 hours of her birth, great pains compass her womb, which pains when the child cometh forth, they slack not a moment. Even so shall not the plagues be slack that come upon the earth, and the world shall mourn, and sorrow shall come upon it, all right, on every side. And we're witnessing things get significantly worse. All right, today is October 4th, where they're talking about some sort of frequency is going to come through the phone. Brothers are asking, what do we do? Well, at the end of the day, we just going to trust in the Lord, because you turn the phone off, all right, they're still going to be able to get through. You can have it on, they're still going to be able to get through. So ultimately, no weapon formed against the elect is going to prosper, man. To hell with that frequency. All right, these jabbed up weirdos out here are getting ready to suffer. That's what's getting ready to happen. Whether it happens today or the 11th or whenever, these people have something inside of them, whatever they did, that's going to bug them out. And they're already talking about a zombie apocalypse. Why do they keep talking about that? And people are becoming more and more zombie-like. They have no emotions. They have no feelings. They're just driving crazy, doing crazy things. That has something to do with what they put inside of them in 2020. Yes, people got significantly worse. That in itself is a plague. Okay? So we're getting ready to witness, all right, a different environment. So as it says here in verse 40, O my people, hear my word and make you ready to thy battle. And in those evils, all right, be even as pilgrims upon the earth. Meaning ultimately, you're going to have to understand that this isn't your home. A pilgrim is what? Let's look up the word pilgrim. Pilgrim. Define pilgrim. A person who journeys to a sacred place for religious reasons. Okay? So ultimately, we can't be tied to anything in this place. Ultimately, we have to understand that this was just a stepping stone to get to the kingdom of heaven. And things are going to get significantly worse. All right. And we have to understand we're in a spiritual war. We were brought here as soldiers, ambassadors of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. So we can't have too much emotions and be too tied to anything here. We're on our way to a holy place, man. Okay. But as for the topic, okay, hey, be on the lookout. A draft is coming. Prophecy got to be fulfilled. Troops got to be gathered. So if nobody's joining, hey, you know E is getting ready to get down on it like Kool in the Gang. Hopefully y'all are edified on to the next. Shalom.